This is Focal Point News, your front row seat to campus headlines, in-depth reporting, and the conversations driving Spartan Nation. Coming up on Focal Point. Missed Michigan State's big win yesterday in March Madness? Catch up before the Spartans hit the court on Saturday.
Find out how local restaurants are dealing with slow business during the winter months.
It's currently the off season for the Lansing Lugnuts, but they're currently on the search for their next mascot.
Covering campus and your local neighborhoods. Focal Point starts right now.
Thanks for joining us this morning on Focal Point News. I'm Andrew Burns.
And I'm Audrey Pelzik. It's Friday, March 20th, and we're currently in the madness that is March.
That's right, with unpredictable weather, midterms after spring break, and of course, March Madness.
Brackets are the talk of the town, especially in Buffalo, where the MSU men's basketball team just played North Dakota State in the first round of the NCAA tournament, coming out with a big win in the first round.
Focal Point News' Michaela Mazza is in Buffalo to check out MSU fans and hear their thoughts on yesterday's game. Michaela, what's the atmosphere like out there?
Thanks so much, you guys. The atmosphere is a little different out here today. It's been a pretty wet, rainy, and windy morning here in Buffalo, but last night the streets were packed all day long. Fans cheering for all these teams and just excited for the beginning of March Madness. There was cheering, booing, screaming, crying, all of the emotions, and so many Spartans traveled from all over the country to be here for these games this weekend, but some pesky Wolverines made the trip as well.
Maria.
For some, making the trip to Buffalo was never a question.
They're my all-time favorite team, so knowing they're coming to Buffalo, I'm on my way here.
Hours on the road just to watch MSU in March. And once you're here, you start to notice it.
Every single person that you pass that's wearing any type of Michigan State apparel, they seem to acknowledge you and treat you like family.
Spartans everywhere. For some, it starts on campus.
I'm an alumni. I went to school there from 2003 to 2007.
For others, much earlier.
Since I was born.
Her whole life.
6 years.
All 6 of his. Different ages, but the same passion. But not everyone here is wearing green.
I don't hate them, but we can say I maybe despise them a little bit.
Because when the University of Michigan is involved, the energy changes.
I traveled from Lexington, South Carolina. I'm a Michigan fan, diehard.
It's loyalty.
They can never disappoint.
Mixed with rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I actually picked them to win, but I wouldn't mind seeing them lose either.
Different fans, different sides, but united in madness.
Now, it's not lost on any of these fans that we could possibly be seeing a Michigan State national championship game this year, and both of these squads are each one step closer to getting there. They both won their round of 64 matchups last night, and then will face off against other opponents in the round of 32 tomorrow. And we'll have that Michigan State game recap later on in sports. But for now, Audrey and Andrew, hopefully I'll see you with the news that Michigan State is moving on to the round of 16. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michaela. We appreciate you traveling alongside the basketball team to cover this as the story unfolds.
But Michaela wasn't the only one traveling with MSU athletics this week. After all, what our teams would be without the sounds of home.
Both of MSU's basketball squads headed out this week for their first round matchups in March Madness. However, the student athletes aren't the only Spartans attending the big dance. The Spartan brass loaded up their instruments earlier this week, heading to Buffalo, New York and Norman, Oklahoma for the men's and women's first rounds. Win or lose, the brass will be there right alongside the basketball teams representing Michigan State on the biggest stage.
I think it's really cool because not many people get to do this. So I think it's a really unique opportunity, and also spending, the whole season getting to cheer on the team at home. I think it's a nice, incentive or a reward.
Just like the basketball teams, the Spartan Brass have worked all year long for March Madness and are set to represent MSU on the national stage with hopes of a deep run into March.
All eyes will be on the Spartan Brass and our MSU players as fans tune in from all across the U.S. Dozens of Spartan fans gathered in Lou and Harry's Bar and Grill ahead of the first round matchup against North Dakota State. With games on every TV screen, the bar was packed before the Spartans lined up for the tip-off. Some fans enjoy going out to watch the games for the environment and the culture. There was no shortage of excitement. Even the smallest plays from MSU Spartan fans were excited for the madness to begin for a number of different reasons.
Just basketball, upsets, drama, everything. Izzo running it. Back to Natty. Cohen Card dunking on everyone in their mind. Hey, to the hoop, to the hoop. Hey, right here. Oh, what mom is saying? Come on. That's what we do. East Lansing #1.
With the big win, Spartan fans will have more chances to see the Spartans in the tournament. The women play Colorado State Rams tonight at 7:30 in Norman, Oklahoma, and the men will play again on Saturday in Buffalo at 2:45 against Louisville.
Michigan is one of the biggest deer crash states. Coming up, we'll show you what a couple of local towns are doing to protect your car and the ecosystem from terrible damage.
And they protected us serving in the military, and now these vets are back in school. That comes with its own unique challenges. We'll show you how they cope with the change from base to college campus.
Michigan State University offers a variety of educational opportunities for both the community and its students. This Saturday, March 21st, the MSU Bug House is hosting their Six-Legged Saturdays. Starting at 10 a.m. in the Natural Science Building on MSU's campus, those who show up can explore insects from around the world, meet live bugs up close, and make crafts. Special story times will start at 10:30. While normal open houses are the second Monday of every month, Six-Legged Saturdays are meant to bring in families who may not be available at other times.
We try to bring in as many folks as possible and engage them in some of the positive aspects of insects, like how diverse they are and how beautiful they are and how important they are to our ecosystems.
This week's Six-Legged Saturday runs from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and is focused around pollinators. There will be tons of different activities for all ages, and more information can be found on the Bug House's website. In East Lansing, Micaiah Lawrence, Focal Point News.
Oh my gosh, the sink is clogged. I need to submit a maintenance request.
To submit a maintenance request, you're going to head to liveon.msu.edu/maintenance. Once you're on that page, there will be a green hyperlink that says Submit a Maintenance Request. From there, you will select the type of maintenance you need, and then you will fill out your information. Make sure you are selecting the correct dorm building, room number, or location. From here, you will be prompted to explain what the issue is and add additional details if you wish, such as a picture. Once you've filled that out, make sure to hit submit and you're all set.
Welcome back to Focal Point News. Deer are a common sight across mid-Michigan, but with many Lansing residents, they've become a growing concern.
With rising safety issues and an increase in population, local officials are taking action, approving a deer cull to thin the herd. Focal Point's Kennedy DeMars is live in East Lansing with more on how the city is responding. Kennedy?
Thanks, Audrey and Andrew. Since 2011, East Lansing has worked hard on urban deer management. City Council voted in favor of an annual deer cull where deer will be killed and removed from the area. Right now, I'm on the corner of Farm and Service Road, and next we're going to hear from residents about how they feel about the renewal of this program.
Throughout East Lansing and Lansing, deer can be a common sight.
but the overpopulation is becoming a problem for many residents.
It was pitch black and a deer ran out in front of my family's car.
City Council recently renewed the deer call, where sharpshooters will be organized to harvest deer in city parks at night.
So it's really about also keeping that deer population healthy.
Land Stewardship Coordinator Emma Campbell says that the deer population issue can cause damage to local ecosystems and increase risks of car collisions. The state of Michigan has seen about a 28% increase in deer car collisions in the last decade. Deer management methods such as the deer call is just one way to get this number down. For some drivers, those risks are all too real.
We ended up killing the deer with our car as well, and that was very traumatizing as a young kid, but it's also something that my family still talks about.
Problems caused by these animals can be devastating. However, there is still uncertainty about the ethics of the decision.
I think it's kind of sad just because I do really like deer. They're pretty innocent animals, but I do think that there are a ton of them.
But Campbell says there are other benefits than reducing the population.
And I think at the end of the day, too, one of the really important parts of this program is that we donate so much of the venison. I mean, we've donated over 40,000 pounds since 2020. And
despite the program making some residents uncomfortable, Campbell and other land stewardship coordinators continue their public outreach and talking with folks in the community. Other Michigan cities such as Jackson, Southfield, and Farmington Hills have all voted in favor of this deer cull. East Lansing's deer cull will take place overnight in city parks during park closures. Audrey and Andrew, back to you guys.
Kennedy, as local officials continue to work with the community to keep residents safe, it's important to remember to stay cautious of deer while driving.
You're right, Audrey. Staying alert on the roads is critical, especially at night. For many student veterans, coming to college means starting a new chapter after military service, but adjusting to campus life can also bring unique mental health challenges. Focal Point's Kelly Gavigan shows us how veterans are navigating that transition and where they can find support.
Unless you've raised your right hand and gave that oath to give your life to the country, it's kind of hard to reconnect with individuals outside of that.
Before coming to Michigan State University, Ricardo Benuelos Jr. served as a combat medic in the military.
I did 4 years at 18.
The adjustment to college comes with unique pressures for all students.
Mental health is so important for college students because this is their first time transitioning away from home, and they're taking on so many new responsibilities.
But veterans often face a different set of challenges, including age gaps, unique life experiences, and the transition from structured military life, such as serving in a branch or living on a base, to college campus.
You're already looking at, 21, 22 already, if not older, depending on how long you've been in.
Kelsey Francis is a doctoral student in clinical psychology. She says one of the biggest barriers to getting help is that people are afraid or embarrassed to admit they're struggling.
It's so important to talk about mental health openly because there is such a stigma towards it of making it private and not speaking about it.
College can be exciting, but it can also be overwhelming. Student veteran groups say creating a community can help members feel more comfortable talking about their mental health.
Primarily, what typically do is board games and other things like that, but we do more things besides that, whether it's sledding, skiing, any event really that just gets veterans out of their room.
He's got it. Just keep going. Have faith.
Ricardo is a member of a veteran support group on campus called the Veterans Adventure League.
To just think about something else. Veterans aren't the only individuals that are isolated and have depression. And it's important for everybody to know that there's a helping hand out there if they're willing to look for it.
Francis says these groups are helpful, but also recommends therapy for those who are really feeling extra stress and anxiety.
It's so important to be open about it and receive the services that you may need for it.
In East Lansing, Kelly Gavigan, Focal Point News.
The Veterans Adventure League meets on Thursdays at 6:30 in the Student Services Building.
Now that we're nearing the end of spring semester, hopefully we'll start seeing some warmer temperatures.
Amy Cho is at the weather wall to break down what the forecast will look like in the next week. Hopefully there's some warmer weather coming up. Amy?
Thanks, Audrey and Andrew. You know, I just might have some good news for you guys. Good morning, Spartans, and happy Friday. For those of you waiting for warmer weather, take a look at the tower cam behind me. It's definitely starting to look a little bit warmer out there, but don't jump for joy just yet. There's still plenty of cold weather in sight. First, let's take a look at our national map. Starting over on the west coast, temperatures today are looking a lot nicer than what we have here in East Lansing, with Sacramento at 90 degrees, Los Angeles at 95, and a lot cooler up in Seattle at 56. As we move further in, we're seeing much higher temperatures in places like Phoenix at 104 degrees and Denver at 85. Moving on over to the Midwest, we're seeing temperatures are a little bit better than what we've been used to so far, with Minneapolis at 60 degrees, Chicago at 63, and Detroit at 66 degrees. Moving our way over to the East Coast, we're seeing temperatures that are pretty average for this time of year in this region, with New York at 57, Charleston at 68, and a bit cooler up in Portland at 44 degrees. Moving our way over to the regional map, we're seeing a large range in temperatures from the upper 40s to lower 80s throughout the Midwest, with Chicago at 63, Grand Rapids at 61, and Detroit again at 66. We're definitely starting to come out of the harsh winter weather. Now, let's just hope the warmer temperatures are here to stay. Let's take a dive into our 7-day outlook here in East Lansing. The rest of today is looking a little bit cloudy, but on the warmer side, with highs reaching the mid-60s and cooling back down to the upper 30s in the evening. Now, this is where the good news starts for our warm temperature-loving folks, because this weekend will reach highs in the upper 50s, but there's a chance of rain on Sunday, so keep this in mind when you're planning your weekend festivities, and keep an umbrella handy. The rest of the week will drop down once again to the 40s, but hey, as long as it isn't snowing, right? But watch out for some rain in the afternoon on Thursday. There's also some big jumps in the highs and lows throughout the week, so make sure to layer up in the morning when it's colder and shed those layers throughout the afternoon when the temperature rises. Even though warmer weather hasn't permanently arrived yet here in East Lansing, temperatures are slowly but surely headed that way. Hang in there, Spartans, and make sure to soak up the warm weather this weekend. Audrey, Andrew, back to you.
Thanks, Amy. Looks like we'll have to enjoy the weekend weather as much as we can.
As we start heading into the spring season, the warmer weather is bringing people out from their homes and into the community. During the winter months, local businesses hit a dead period, where community members aren't as active in their town due to cold weather. It makes it hard for them to pay the bills when foot traffic is light, and many are ready for spring and warmer weather. Just this past year, several restaurants have closed their doors due to financial issues caused by slow business. Like Risen Breakfast and Bakery in Mason, Harry's Place has been a restaurant staple in Lansing for more than 100 years. They understand what it takes to get through the slow times during the winter.
Plan ahead for it for sure. You know, luckily around the holidays it keeps us very busy, so it helps you keep afloat for that January, February time.
Harry's Place is located on North Verlinden Avenue, open Tuesday through Saturday.
Coming up next in sports, March Madness is here. We'll have the latest from the men's and women's basketball and what's next for the tournament.
Plus, we're taking you inside MSU's newest building. We'll show you how they support students from across the world every day. That, along with St. Patrick's Day fun after the break. Yes, almost there.
Each day, many students find themselves looking for opportunities to keep busy and active in the ample downtime that college presents. One of the best ways to allocate extra time is by getting involved with the University Activities Board and student clubs and organizations. The UAB, clubs, and organizations all provide valuable opportunities to network and meet people, learn important skills, and explore new hobbies.
What you're doing is you're initializing an empty list, and so for each.
If you want to avoid spending your nights bored in your dorm, join the UAB or an RSO. With over 1,000 clubs and organizations on campus, you're sure to find something you like. Get involved and your problems will be solved.
Music and dance filled the MSU Multicultural Center last week, showcasing cultures from around the world.
Focal Point's Layla Ellington takes us to feel the rhythm and shows us how the event helps bring students together.
Music, rhythm, and culture took center stage at the Multicultural Center at Michigan State University this past week. Rhythm and culture took center stage at the Multicultural Center at Michigan State University. Music, rhythm, and culture took center stage at the Multicultural Center at Michigan State University this past week.
I think that being able to have spaces like this and having events like this, it just makes people more aware.
Students gathered to explore cultures through music and dance, celebrating traditions from around the world.
We create an opportunity for students to come together over a shared cultural experience.
The Multicultural Center says that the event is meant to give students a space where they feel comfortable expressing their cultural identities.
And we have an opportunity for students to engage, and then we have an opportunity for them to gather together around a meal.
Throughout the night, performances and interactive moments encourage students to participate and experience new traditions.
My favorite part about the event was actually learning how to dance.
Students attending events like this help build a stronger sense of community on campus and learn about cultures they may not be familiar with.
I think they should hold more events like this at MSU.
Organizers say they plan to continue hosting events like this to encourage cultural appreciation and connection among students. In East Lansing, I'm Layla Ellington, Focal Point News.
If you missed this one, organizers say the next cultural cuisine event will be held on April 8th.
MSU students wear green all year round, but on St. Patrick's Day, students go all out to party, no matter if they're Irish or not. The party started over the weekend in downtown East Lansing, with students out enjoying themselves Saturday afternoon and late into the evening. The fun continued on St. Patrick's Day despite the frigid temps outside. From early morning gatherings to packed bars, the holiday brought large crowds, long lines, and a sea of green as students celebrated. Local bars say the day is one of the busiest days of the year, filled with customers at tables all day and lining up at the doors before they open. But while the celebrations may look effortless, employees say a lot of work happens behind the scenes to prepare for the rush.
And we'd be just helping cut limes and cleaning, making sure all the tables were clean, all the chairs were organized, and that we just had everything in order to be stocked and ready for all the customers.
Downtown East Lansing always gets a little crazy on St. Patrick's Day, and this year was no exception.
From celebrating holidays to your favorite teams, Michigan State sports are hoping to give fans more to celebrate about.
Let's head over to Micaiah Lawrence at the sports desk to check in on postseason action and new season beginnings.
Thanks, Andrew and Audrey. Despite the cold, we are getting into spring sports. But first, March Madness has begun, and we definitely have a lot to cover. The big dance is here, and it certainly didn't disappoint. With an already action-packed start to the weekend, Tom Izzo's team made their 28th straight NCAA tournament appearance. The Spartans men basketball team rolled to a win yesterday afternoon with a 92-67 victory over North Dakota State in Buffalo. Michaela Mazza joins again now for a recap.
Thanks to Micaiah, all of the pieces that needed to fall into place for Michigan State to get the victory yesterday did. Carson Cooper tied his career high 20 points. Jeremy Fears lent out 11 assists. And it wasn't just the starters. The Michigan State bench added 30 points to the tally. Here's what Coach Izzo and some players had to say about how they were going to use this win and what went right in their next matchup.
We took a step better today now. I've been around long enough to know that that doesn't guarantee anything for Saturday, but it gives me something to sleep this much better tonight than I would have.
Today we kind of see in everybody's eyes that they wanted to get it done, and I think now it's just going to be trying to get to the weekend.
What's the most important?
Like, this is everything that I dreamed of as a kid, like wanting to make an impact on a very good team and to potentially win a March Madness championship. So I was just in awe the whole time.
In their next game, MSU will face off against Louisville on Saturday. Now, Louisville only beat their opponent by 4 on Thursday, but as we know, win or go home adds a whole new layer to the game. Reporting in Buffalo, I'm Michaela Mazza, Focal Point News.
The women's basketball team is also dancing in March and improving on last year's 7th seed. This year, Spartans are seeded 5th in Region 4. They will play 12-seed Colorado State Rams at 7:30 p.m. tonight in the first round of the women's NCAA tournament down in Norman, Oklahoma. This is their 3rd straight playoff berth with Coach Freilich, and they are focusing on one game at a time.
I think that we're just going to be really focused on Colorado State. I mean, we know how good the teams that are left playing are and how good the teams in the tournament are. So that'll put a lot of our energy. But as we know, the better seed you get, the better chance you give your team. But
Spartan spring football has officially started, and on St. Patrick's Day, no less. First-year head coach Pat Fitzgerald held the first of the team's 15 spring practices earlier this week. The team hit the field shortly after 6:15 a.m. and got straight to work. With 53 returning players and 45 newcomers, they're focusing on relationship building and culture just as much as these physical skills. Both coaches and players are excited to continue preparation towards what they hope is a great season.
I'm honored to be here coaching these guys and developing them as men and as students and hoping to build our program back to where it belongs, like I talked about initially. And did I have fun today? Yeah, absolutely. But we've just got a long way to go to build a team. It's not about me, it's about the guys and about the squad.
Spring practices will end with the Spring Showcase on April 18th at noon in Spartan Stadium. This will be a sneak peek for Spartan fans to see what to expect during the home opener, which is Saturday, September 5th against Toledo. In other news, Spartan Gymnastics also wrapped up their regular season in Jennison Fieldhouse this past Sunday. The Spartans won their meet with a final score of 197.5 and honored their 6 seniors. Sage Kellerman posted a 9.95 on vault and a 9.925 on her final bars routine here. The flowers, celebrations, and joy that you see continued throughout the meet. Nikki Smith also scored a 9.95 on her vault and finished her final floor routine in Jennison Fieldhouse with a perfect 10. She also won the all-around with a score of 39.6, and it means a lot to Smith to close her last season at MSU out with a huge
to
success.
do it in front of my home crowd and on senior night. I was so excited, and I'm so thankful for everyone who have helped me get here.
The Spartan gymnasts are heading to Champaign, Illinois to compete in the Big Ten Championships tomorrow at 6 p.m. And as we start to wrap up winter sports and roll into spring, both Spartan softball and baseball have home opener series this weekend. Softball will host Nebraska and baseball will host Iowa, each for a 3-game series that starts this afternoon. We are in for such a treat with a Spartan sports-filled weekend. From the Focal Point Sports Desk, I'm Micaiah Lawrence. Audrey and Andrew, back to you.
Thanks, Micaiah. As we're feeling the seasons change, there's a different change of season upon us. Baseball season.
The Lansing Lugnuts opening game is just 2 weeks away, but Focal Point's Liam Clymer tells us why they can't start just yet.
In downtown Lansing, it hardly feels like baseball weather. But when the sun breaks through overcast skies, this stadium will transform into a bustling mid-Michigan hub.
Well, it's currently the off-season for the Lansing Lugnuts. These stands will soon be filled with fans awaiting the next Big Lug.
Big Lug is just a staple of what it means to live in Lansing.
When you live in a large city like Lansing, its community is bound to have its fair share of symbols.
He's so goofy and funny.
And for baseball fans like Eddie Eichenhorn, it's the Lansing Lugnuts' very own Big Lug.
I don't even know what he is. I guess he's an amalgamation of nuts and bolts and lugs and nuts.
Regardless of what the dragon-like creature with the lug nut nose really is, fans do love it when he takes the field.
He gets smiles and waves from everyone.
Lugnut's marketing coordinator, Ellie Johnson, says they're on the lookout for someone new to portray the character.
Someone who is going to come in with a lot of enthusiasm, but also a lot of love and passion for this kind of work.
Eddie told me they have big shoes to fill, even for mascot standards.
And I have the memory of all of us going to the Lugnuts game, huge group, maybe 15 people, and Big Lug, we were sitting right near him and he kept messing with us.
He says minor league baseball games are an affordable way for him to spend summer evenings with friends, and he hopes they find someone who will create more good memories.
He played along with us.
With this season being the 30th anniversary of Lugnuts baseball, Johnson says it's a dream season for anyone taking on the role.
To hit a home run for our 30th.
And for those hoping to nail their audition, here's a word of advice.
It takes a big personality.
A little bit of helping.
People enjoy their time at the ballpark in whatever way fits them best.
And most of all,
it's grit, it is determination, and it is definitely fun.
In East Lansing, Liam Clymer, Focal Point News.
Woo.
Hiring information for the open Big Lug position can be found on the Lugnuts website.
That's all we have for you this morning. I'm Audrey Pelzik.
I'm Andrew Burns, and we leave you now with the Irish sounds from the 10-Pound Fiddle. And we'll see you next time on Focal Point. Awesome.
Let's do whiskey in the jar. As I was going over the parking